Walker. All right, Twan, talking Heat Celtics. Game 3 from Saturday night. I think you were there. I think I was watching a live Instagram feed of you at the game. I thought you would say hi to me. We'll talk about it later. Miami, more than making up for their lack of everything in Game 2. They led by 26 in the first half. Jaylen Brown did everything he could to get Boston re-engaged. 40 points to help him pull within 1. But you saw it. Wasn't enough. Heat hold on to win. They're now up 2-1 in this series. Antoine, spin it forward for us. Is tonight a must-win for your Boston Celtics?
Well, let me address that, Jenna. Yes, I was at the game, sitting on the floor. A place where I offered all you guys, you can go to either Boston or Miami and enjoy a nice game sitting on the floor. But that option, that's still open to you guys if you want to go. But I had to show you first that it really does happen, and you're going to be right there, courtside.
You were there.
See all the action.
You were
I was there.
Taken care of.
That was a perfect
Next
sight.
time, say hi to me on Instagram. Yep.
I didn't see it.
Go ahead.
I would have said hi. But no, this is a must-win. And it's unfortunate that you would think this would be a must-win right in Game 4 for the Celtics. But they have to tie this up. They cannot afford to go down 3-1 and have to go back to Miami. Miami's too good of a team for them to be able to win 3 in a row. So that's what makes it a must-win situation. First, they got to get healthy. I left that game feeling like, I saw several Celtics players leaving the court, having to go to the back, coming back and obviously gutting through it and getting through the game. But are they going to get healthy enough? I thought the absence of Robert Williams was really big in Game 3. And is he going to come back in Game 4 when you look at what Bam Adebayo was able to do inside and getting himself going and attacking the basket? And also, you got to look at this Heat team makes adjustments continuously as the game goes along. And I talked about this, and I wanted to make a big point, and I thought as a group we was downplaying it, but I thought Kyle Lowry being back out there was huge for them. Now, his numbers were not great. I think he had 11 points, but I thought he made some gutsy plays. I think his leadership on the floor, directing that team and defensively kind of spearheading the defensive attack was huge for them as well. So this is a must-win for the Celtics, and it's really predicated on if they make shots from the three-point line. This is something that we've seen all season long. When they make threes, they play great. And can they go out and have a big 20, 25-point performance from the three, make 20, 25 threes to see if they can get back in this series?
Well, Twan, they certainly should approach it like it's a must-win. They should have approached Game 3 like that as well. And I get it. You're right. I mean, you don't want to go back to Miami down 3-1. It's just tough enough to come back from that type of deficit as it is. But I'm going to say I would not completely write them off if they lost tonight. Now, it would be tough. I get it. They would be in a huge hole. Not a 3-0 hole like some teams, but they would be in a huge hole. All right, and that'd be tough to come out of. But they showed us, who thought, other than me, who thought that they could go to Milwaukee down 3-2 and still win that series? So, I wouldn't write them off. But, Nick, what I will say is this is the first series that they've been in this postseason, where they look like the team that's not as physical. They look like the team that's not as mentally tough. And I don't think that's the case, but in these first 3 games, that's how it's looked, or at least 2 of those 3 games. So they have to make one of the biggest adjustments they need to make is the attitude adjustment. Because when you lose to Miami, when Jimmy Butler sits out the whole second half, that's not, to me, about on the court so much as what's going on in your head. And I talked about it, we'll talk about it later. Jason Tatum just wasn't engaged, wasn't himself. And so they need to make sure they come out and bring their A game, because if they bring their A game, I think their A game is clearly better than Miami's, especially with we don't know what we're going to get from Jimmy Butler. We don't know what we're going to get from based on them having 2 legitimate stars in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Al Horford is a cagey veteran. Marcus Smart is the defensive player of the year. Based on all of that, the #1 defense in the league. Need I go on?
Well, yeah, I don't think there's evidence that Boston is the better team.
They beat
and
Milwaukee,
by the way,
the defending champion?
I understand, but Miami beat Milwaukee in the playoffs 2 years ago. Before, yeah, like I don't know what would have happened in a Heat Bucks series. I do know I absolutely disagree with you on as far as I think the third best player in this series is Bam, not Brown. I know Jalen had 40 points. He also had 7 turnovers. I think Bam is a more impactful basketball player than Jalen Brown, even though he didn't play well in games 1 and 2. He obviously had the monster performance in game 3. Wilds, I do think this is a must-win for Boston. I don't think you're winning 3 in a row against the number 1 seed Heat, including game 5 and game 7 in Miami.
I agree.
My question to you, though, is do they need to win the game, or is it okay if they just win 3 of the 4 quarters? Because if they win 3 of the 4 quarters but lose the game, then they'll be leading the quarters 10-3 with 3 ties. Like, I'm just curious because we're doing some weird math here. Celtics fans were complaining about officiating in a game where it was 28-5 free throws with a minute left. What? They weren't? I'm sorry.
No, I'm on your side. Celtics fans need to be quiet about the ref. Don't start blaming the refs. Okay?
Yeah, especially when you had the refs in your pocket like a lucky charm for the entirety of the second half of game 3. But I'll set that aside. Yeah, they have to win tonight. Vegas says they're going to. Vegas says they're 7-point favorites because nobody respects the Heat. And I wouldn't be shocked at all, obviously, if Boston wins tonight. I picked Heat in 7. I think it's going to be a very good series. But with Lowry coming back and Jimmy Butler, I think, going to play, and Jimmy's thing was weird, him not coming out to the bench for the second half, the whole thing was odd. But I think Boston absolutely has to win tonight.
Yeah, they have to win, and I expect they will win, and I expect that we see superstar Jason Tatum back.
The game
I know Tatum has disappeared a few times, the whole game. Don't forget, he had 10 points. I get it, not great. Also had 10 points game 3 in Milwaukee. And what did he do for the rest of the series? 30, 34, 46, 23. True superstar. And here's why I'm so optimistic, and I know this gets Heat fans mad, Jenna, but I really believe it, and it also speaks to the quarter differential of how well the Celtics have played. The Celtics have beat themselves. On those quarters when they lose by 20 points, they are beating themselves. Okay, I get it. Victor Oladipo played well. But Tatum took himself out of that game. The Heat did well to sort of push him over there, but then he joined. He's like, all right, I guess I'm out of the game. He will not do that from here on out. I think he's learned he's got to be engaged the whole time. They're not going to lose a quarter by 20. I feel confident Tatum will be great. Did Brooklyn beat
themselves, or did Boston take it from them? Did Boston out-physical them, out-tough
Boston
them?
Took it.
Okay, so can we give Miami the same credit? Can we give Miami the same credit? Okay, all right, fair enough. No problem.
The answer
it does happen now. You do beat yourself.
All right, we'll talk about this again. We got to head out west, talk some Lakers. Are they going back to the drawing board on their head coach?